lineup. Britt Funk hits in the number 2 spot. She was a member of the Olympic delegation a year ago, just an 18-year-old playing at first base. Saskia Kosterink, maybe the biggest bopper. She's the center fielder. She was an Olympian as well. And the captain is their catcher, number 26, Natalie Timmermans. She is a medical student back in her native Netherlands. That's a good look at Jenny Finch wearing number 27. She is now, she's somewhat of the grandma on this year's team. She's 28 years of age. She is the oldest member of Jay Miller's club.
And that really is amazing because I remember her first year on the team. In fact, I think that was one of my last years on the team.
All right, Smitty, we're getting ready for some softball. What are your keys to this game?
Well, it's going to be important for Team USA to be aggressive. Offensively, they need to try and move that Dutch defense. And then they need to play beyond their years. As I mentioned earlier, 7 of the 9 defensive starters, first time in a USA uniform. It's going to be important for them to play with experience right away.
Team USA, they are the home team. They'll be the home team for a number of these games. It was a coin flip to determine who was home and who was the road team. And yesterday, Team USA winning the coin flip, and they are the home team as we take a look at the keys to the game for the Netherlands.
Well, and it's going to be important for the Netherlands to shut down that USA offense. The offense in the past for Team USA has been a lot of power. Now it's a lot of speed, so they're going to need to be very careful, respect the speed of Team USA, and then they themselves are going to need to generate offense. They need to try to find a way to get on the board and get on the board early if they can.
For you softball fans out there, if that was a familiar face, it should have been. That was Nancy Evans. She's now the pitching coach with the Dutch national team, longtime pitching coach at Arizona. Once a great player in her own right. As we take a look at Stacey Nelson.
And Stacey Nelson is just a dominating pitcher. She had an outstanding campaign at the University of Florida. She works a very good rise ball, but her best 2 pitches are her curveball and her screwball. Her changeup also something you have to look for as you're in the box hitting against her.
And we're ready to go. Stepping into the box, the designated player, Micah Witteveen, leading things off for the Dutch national team. It'll be Witteveen, Funk, and Kosterink here in the first inning. First pitch, softly hit to third. Play for Janae Liles, dug out of the dirt nicely by Caitlin Cochran. 1 pitch, 1 out. As we play game number 1 of the 2009 KFC World Cup of Softball. There's Janae Liles, former Arizona Wildcat. Take a look at the defense behind Stacey Nelson. It's this is Katie Cochran at first base, Ashley Charters at second, Natasha Watley's the shortstop. You just saw Liles, and it's an outfield of Brittany Rogers, Caitlin Lowe, and Ashley Hansen, still a student at Stanford in right field. There's Britt Funk, played in the Olympics last year for the Dutch national team. As the catcher, Chelsea Bramlett goes out and talks things over with the entire infield now.
And you can imagine there's going to be a lot of communicating with Team USA. When you look at that infield, a completely new look. Watley really, at this point, is the veteran defender, and in the past has been a quiet leader, but now she's vocally had to step up for Team USA.
And Natasha and Jenny Finch are the 2 players with the most experience on this year's Team USA club. Another chance for Liles, and she makes it. Janae Liles 2 for 2 defensively so far early in this ball game.
And the Netherlands coming out very aggressive. That is a curveball on the inside corner. But look at the way that Liles charges down the line. That is the key. You have to go get that ball. If you wait for it to come to you, forget it. The speed of these hitters, they're going to be able to make it 60 feet down that line.
Score that one a 5-4. That was the second baseman Charters who got over the bag to force out Funk. So 3 pitches, 2 outs here in the top of the first inning as Saskia Kosterink grabs the bat. Another one of those experienced players from the Netherlands. Checks her swing on a pitch that sails upstairs, 67 miles per hour. It's 2 balls, no strikes. Smitty, we're talking about a lot of new faces on Team USA. For the most part, where the experience lies, with the exception of Natasha Watley and Caitlin Lowe, is with the pitching staff.
And that's ironic because last year it was the youth in the circle for Team USA and a very experienced defense. This year it's the flip. The experienced athletes are the ones in the circle, and now we have a new defensive look.
4-pitch walk. Kosterink takes her base, first base runner for the Dutch national team. There's Jenny Finch, one of those veteran pitchers we told you about. Also Monica Abbott, also in the rotation, former Tennessee Lady Vol great. And we'll see some of Kat Osterman. Kat Osterman is wearing a microphone. We'll get her thoughts on tonight's ball game. Kat Osterman, of course, from Houston, Texas, former great Texas Longhorn star. Natalie Timmermans, medical student back home in the Netherlands, takes a big cut and fouls that one back to the screen. The Netherlands with a win earlier today against Italy. That's big doing in itself. Italy normally is the dominant program in Europe. Hard smash through the hole, left side of the infield. First base hit of the day for the Netherlands. Timmermans gets herself a 2-out knock. Runners on at first and at second.
And Timmermans, the key to being able to hit this pitch, it's an off speed as she keeps her hands back and just drives this ball right past Natasha Watley. But the key is she kept her weight back. Nelson does have a very good changeup. As it comes in, it spins in the opposite direction. It moves. It can full hitters, but Timmermans right on that ball.
Arika Spell is the batter, and she takes called strike one. That was the swiftest of the pitches so far today for Nelson, 69 miles per hour. Tardy swing, softly hit, right side. Cochran picks it up, wins the race to the bag, side retired. So a couple of 2-out base runners do no damage, and Team USA a chance to head to Oklahoma City, and beautiful results for Stacey Nelson in that first inning of work. She got 3 ground ball outs, sandwiched around a walk and a solid single. The Team USA in the dugout with their first chance to grab a bat and do some work against the Netherlands. Let's take a look at Jay Miller's starting lineup. Chelsea Bramlett from Mississippi State leads things off. She's extremely fast. Caitlin Lowe, Natasha Watley, a lot of experience there. 2 Jackrabbits at 2 and 3 spot. Katie Cochran, Jenny Finch is going to bat. She's the DP. Janae Liles, Ashley Charters, Ashley Hansen, and from Alabama, it's Brittany Rogers picking up the rear. Let's take a good look at the pitcher for the Netherlands. It's Femke van Dushouten. There she is, number 24.
And it's going to be important for Van Dushouten to make sure that she mixes speeds, does not leave anything too sweet over the middle of the plate. If she does that, Team USA will put a charge into it.
Her first pitch is a called strike one. Chelsea Bramlett, her first go-around on the U.S. national team. All-everything catcher for Mississippi State. She can really win. Somewhat of an oddity to have your catcher as the leadoff batter, but there's a reason for that. She is the fastest of all Team USA's players.
And that's really amazing. When Coach Miller said that, I about fell out of my chair, because you're talking about Natasha Watley on the team and Caitlin Lowe, 2 very good speedsters for Team USA, but Bramlett sure can run. And exactly, out of that catching position, you just don't think it.
Ball. That's called a ball. Looked like Bramlett was thinking about making an attempt at it. I thought that may have actually been a legitimate bunt attempt.
Yeah, that did look like she attempted. Let's take a look at this. You can see the way she goes out. She actually shows, pulls back, and then shows again, because it's an off speed. You can see it looks like she did go ahead and go after that pitch.
Femke van Dushouten played in the Olympics a year ago in Beijing. She is from Haarlem in the Netherlands, and she is a hairdresser. And she fields her position nicely. One hopper right back to the circle, and the out is recorded. 1 up and 1 down for Team USA in the bottom of the first. Defensively, the Netherlands, this is how they line up. First baseman, we told you about her before, just 18 years of age. That's Britt Funk. It's Von Heist at second. Verschlausch is the shortstop. Anna Feld is the third baseman. An outfield of Hauschevier, Kosterink, and Spell, with Timmermans behind home plate. Defensively, the Netherlands played very well over the last 2 weeks up in the Canada Cup. That was one of the reasons why they had some success playing up there.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a big summer for this Dutch national team. And that's what the coaching staff has told us. We want our kids to get a lot of playing time, get a lot of at-bats, and a lot of pitches in the circle.
Caitlin Lowe flips it to center field. Nice play made by Kostering. She got a great jump on that ball and makes it fairly routinely. There's Jay Miller taking over from Mike Candrea, skipper of this year's national team. He's been around the national program for a long time. His day job, if you will, is the head coach of the Bulldogs at Mississippi State. They play in the SEC. Natasha Watley hitting third in this year's lineup, takes a changeup, strike one. For my money, one of the most, maybe the most exciting player in all of international softball is right there.
Yeah, Natasha Watley is just fun to watch. I love to watch her run, especially when she's legging out a double or a triple. Just does so well.
That's what she does. Base hit opposite field. And a 2-out single for Natasha Watley. Let's see if she's off and running here.
Watley, so much power, but also so much finesse. She has great bat control. Look at this pitch. It's sweet, right down the middle. What does she do? She keeps her hands inside the ball, drives it the opposite way, and that's the key. When you have a hitter that can really drive the ball hard the opposite way, very hard for a pitcher to get them out.
It's been the summer of Natasha Watley. She was named the most outstanding player of the Canada Cup, in which Team USA won. Team USA did not lose a game in the Canada Cup, going 12-0. Caitlin Cochran will be the batter. Swinging at the first pitch and bloops it foul into the grandstands. Cochran has been so good for so long at Arizona State.
Yeah, just an unbelievable athlete and career for ASU. Hits the ball for power to all fields, but I really think she hits her best when she stays inside the ball and hits the ball center left. As a left-handed batter, when you can do that again, you stay inside that ball. It is so difficult for the pitcher to figure out how to throw you.
And what a compliment to be hitting fourth in the lineup in this your first time with the national team. Pretty big shoes to fill when you think she's filling in for Crystal Bustos.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, it's an interesting look, this lineup. Normally we see Natasha Watley in that 1 or 2 spot. Now she's hitting in the 3 spot. That's more of a power spot. We've always seen that occupied by Jessica Mendoza. Mendoza is taking a leave of absence to have her first child. Hi, Jess. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're feeling well.
Natasha Watley on at first base. Caitlin Cochran at the plate. You just saw Jenny Finch grabbing a bat. She will hit if this inning continues. Bunt laid down, picked up in foul territory by the catcher Timmermans.
And that's one of the things that you'll see with Team USA this year, because they do have so much speed. If the defense does not respect that speed and they back up behind the bag or they're too deep, don't be surprised to see Team USA put a sneaky bunt down.
2 balls and 2 strikes. There goes Watley. Ball fouled back to the screen. This is the first of 5 round-robin games for Team USA. Championship game, should Team USA make it, will be Monday evening right here on this field. Inside out, deep drive over the left fielder's head. That ball's got a chance to get to the wall. It will make it there. Watley steaming around third. She'll score, and Katie Cochran's got herself a 2-out triple. Man, they were playing her very shallow, and she took advantage.
Yeah, you have to wonder why Holland's outfield was so shallow, especially the left fielder, because Katie Cochran just hits for power opposite ways. Look at the way her hands just stay inside. She explodes through the ball, and you can see this ball just drifts out. In college now, 190-foot fences, that would probably be over the fence, but here at 220-foot fences, Katie Cochran is going to get a triple. She runs very well.
So a 1-0 lead for Team USA, and here's Jenny Finch. Takes a changeup outside, ball 1. Seen Jenny Finch for so many years and all the fantastic things she has done in the circle. This year getting a chance to be a two-way player. Generally when she's not pitching, she's going to be hitting.
Yeah, when I spoke with her a couple days and asked her, what do you enjoy more, pitching or hitting? She kind of said, I like to hit more. It's a little more relaxing. And, you know, when I played ball, I was the same way. I loved to be in the circle, but you know what? Being in that box was just so exciting because there wasn't quite as much pressure. You've got 8 other athletes behind you that are going to help. In that pitching circle, there's a little bit different type of pressure.
Taking on 2-0, that's a strike. And Jenny Finch has played on this national team for a while now. She's a 2-time Olympian, winning the gold in 2004, the silver last year. She's played in every single World Cup of softball so far. This is her 4th representing the United States. Hits it hard past the third baseman. The shortstop, Fairschlouch, is going to have to hurry. Not in time. Finch runs well, scored an infield base hit, and the second run scores for Team USA.
And Jenny, just enough to get this ball in the gap. Look at the way she keeps her weight back, drives through. See the delivery, ball hit into the hole, but Jenny runs very well. And that's one of the things that's so important. You got to sneak a peek, see if it's through the infield. If it's not, you need to make sure that you're driving all the way through that bag.
So the 2-out rally continues for Team USA. Janae Liles pops it high and foul out of play. Liles has had some success on this field. ASA Hall of Fame Stadium is where they play the Women's College World Series, and in 2006 and 2007, Liles' freshman and sophomore years, she won national titles with Arizona. Another high pop-up right side out of play. Katie Cochran. Triple to score Natasha Watley and give the Americans a 1-0 lead. They now lead 2-0 on the Jenny Finch RBI single. This ball is roped into left field. Liles gets a base hit. Finch stops at second.
And Janae Liles does a good job of getting her hands on top of that pitch. You can see it's up in the zone, but the key is she does not drop her hand. She stays through the zone, through the ball, drives that into the outfield. And this is where Team USA is so strong, is that you might be able to get that first, that second out, but then all of a sudden, Team USA starts to time you as a pitcher, and then the hits start coming. You get a triple, you get a single, get another single, and that's where this team is a little bit different from last year's team. Last year's team with so much power, you might see a single, a walk, maybe a steal, and then boom, the big hit, the home run. This team, a little different feel. They're going to be more of a line drive type of a hitting team, putting the ball in the gap or down the lines and legging it around the bases.
Beat continues. Second baseman Ashley Charters grabs the bat. Softly hit to short. This should end the inning. Fairschlouch quickly across the diamond. Side retired, but damage done for the Americans. Couple of base hits with 2 outs. They have a 2-0 lead as we head to the second inning here in Oklahoma City. Flags, this is the first of 5 round-robin games that Team USA will play for the championship round on Monday. So far, so good for the Americans, a 2-0 lead over the Netherlands. With Michelle Smith, I'm Eric Collins, top of the third inning. Stacey Nelson still in the circle for Team USA. She has allowed 1 hit through 2 innings. Natalie Hoshavir is the batter, left fielder. She is an athletic trainer in her native Holland. She hits 9th in this lineup. It'll be Hoshavir, Vidifine, and Funk against Stacey Nelson. This is a very important summer, not only for Team USA and all of softball on the field, but also off the field.
Well, that's right, Eric. We, as a community, as a softball community, are working very hard to get softball back on the 2016 Olympic program. And if you want more information on that, you can go to backsoftball.com. But I have been traveling the world along with Jessica Mendoza and quite a few other athletes from around the world as well. It has united our sport for sure. And coming up in August, we'll get a little bit more information from the IOC. as well as potentially in October as well.
Nelson's 1-2. Hit into center field, second base hit of the ball game for the Netherlands. Softball has been an Olympic sport. First time it was in medal play was in 1996.
And Hoshavir just takes this pitch. It looks like a screwball that just lays over the plate a little bit too sweet. And Hoshavir just getting her hands extended. Nice piece of hitting. Exactly what you want to do when that ball is laid on the inside corner.
There's Craig Montvitas, American-born head coach for the Netherlands. He has also been the head coach for Great Britain and the Greece national teams. Bunt laid down first base side by Vitafine. Only play would be at first. Out number one. Checking into scoring position is Hoshavir.
Boy, that's an interesting look for Team USA. They chose to keep Katie Cochran back going to first. Ashley Charters, the second baseman, went over to second. So a little bit different look for Jay Miller and his defense. And you can get away with that when you have a really good fielding pitcher like Stacey Nelson. She's going to cover the bunt. You're going to keep first back, send your second baseman up the middle so that you can field a little bit better on the left side of the infield.
Britt Funk takes the strike on the outside part of the plate, 0-1. And we're talking about the fact that softball has been in the Olympics as a medal sport from 96 through last year, 2008. Team USA winning the gold in 96, 2000, and 2004. Last year, settling for the silver in a real surprise against the Japanese national team. But it was announced, I think it was 2005, that softball was going to be taken away from the Olympics in 2012 in London, and that absolutely shocked everyone involved with international softball. And there is still a chance to get softball back in 2016, and we'll know either way in the next couple of months.
Yeah, that's correct, Eric. We've been working very hard. I was in Switzerland last month, as I mentioned, and you know, being a part of that campaign, I feel like I'm really putting forth my best efforts as the International Softball Federation. Danielle Stewart, who is an Australian Olympian, who we'll see later on in the week here. Saskia Kosterink from the Netherlands team is also on that back softball task force, and that's the reason we're doing it right there for those little girls so that they can have their Olympic dreams.
0-2 pitch. Misses way outside. Bramlett can't stop it, and that's going to allow Hoshavir to move all the way to third. She's now just 60 feet away from scoring the first run of the day for the Netherlands.
And take a look at this pitch. You can see Nelson's form completely breaks down. Her body lean, off balance, has no way to get that arm through. Her hip is in the way. When you do that, you're for sure going to throw a pitch past your catcher. Got to make sure you have very good balance when you're pitching.
Now, this would be a small victory for the Netherlands if they could get on the board here. 1-2 pitch to Funk. Off-speed pitch just a little bit outside. Good eye for Britt Funk. There goes Jenny Finch. She's going to be the next pitcher to come on for Team USA. Going to get loose in the bullpen. Slap third base side. Liles muffs it for a moment. Not in time. It's going to be an error on Janae Liles. And it's going to put runners on at first and at third, still with just one out.
Boy, and the key here is that Liles, let's take a look. The ball's going to get down. Liles, the ball bobbles the ball, but she makes the mistake of trying to pick it up with her glove. Once that ball's down, if you want to try and get that out at first, you have to barehand it. Do not go back after it with your glove. You do not have time in international ball to pick it up again with your glove, transfer it to your arm, make the throw. The runner will be safe.
So thinking about a bunt with runners on at the corners and one out is Saskia Kosterink, and she takes ball one. Kosterink reached base safely in the first inning with a walk.
You know, Eric, we talk about the youth of this team, and really the way you get experience is what? By playing, is having these kids put on that uniform and play X number of games for Team USA. We talk about probably one of the greatest Team USA players ever is Laura Berg. She played in all 4 Olympic Games. In fact, the only USA athlete to play in all 4 Olympic Games. But when you look at this youth, You know, Laura, she played a lot of games in the '96 Olympics. She didn't play all of them at the beginning of her career. You learn to work in and out, but this team is so young that you're constantly going to have a lot of youth on the field, and they're going to make their mistakes. The key is, how do they handle those mistakes? How do they bounce back from them?
Pitch misses inside. Similar roster situation in 2005 after winning gold in Athens. There was a decent amount of turnover, and there were some young players, Kat Osterman being one of them in 2005. And that club struggled in their first time out in the World Cup of Softball in 2005. This ball hit the third, and Liles again muffs it, and it's going to allow the Netherlands to score for the first time. Back-to-back errors for Liles, and that's going to be an unearned run scored for the Netherlands.
Yeah, Liles has been a little bit out of her element. She hasn't been hitting the way she's wanted to, and it looks like it's carrying over to her defense. You can see that Kosterink is jammed up on this. It should be a routine out, but one of the keys is you could see that the Dutch player was taking off toward home, and I think that allowed Liles to take her eye off the ball. She saw that athlete going home, and sometimes that's all it takes to create an error. Very important. Keep your eye on the ball, make the play.
In Team USA's most recent international competition, they played 12 games in Surrey, British Columbia in the Canada Cup, and in those 12 games, they committed a total of 8 errors as a team. Already 2 errors for the Americans as we play the top of the third inning. Natalie Timmermans fouls it back to the screen. Now, Smitty, just finishing off that thought, 2005, some young players in the World Cup of Softball, and Mike Candrea's team that year was a little bit sloppy defensively. They didn't play great situational softball. They lost their first game against Canada, which was a surprise, and then they eventually lost the championship game against Japan. Yeah,
and they faced 2 really good pitchers that shut down their offense, which you don't typically see a lot, and that's Danielle Laurie, who will be here with Canada, and then it was Yukiko Ueno for Japan, who came in the championship game and shut down Team USA. But you know, you don't always get better when you just win all the time. You get better when you face adversity, and that's what these athletes need to do. They need to take their lumps a little bit, face the adversity, and learn to make the play.
How about that? Another chance for Janae Liles, and this time she makes it. 5-3 on the putout. Timmermans is out number 2. Well, Sunday night is a special night of sport action on ESPN. First Sunday night baseball starts at a special time at 6 Eastern time. You'll see David Wright and the New York Mets taking on Chipper Jones and the Atlanta Braves. And then at 9 Eastern, don't miss the 2009 ESPYs as Samuel L. Jackson will host the all-star lineup of top athletes and entertainers to celebrate the best sports stories of the year. That's Sunday night baseball presented by Taco Bell, and the 2009 ESPYs presented by Under Armour and Land Rover. 2 outs, runners on at second and third. Arika Spell is the batter. Didn't mean to. Ball gets away, and here comes the runner from third. Funk will score. Second run of the day scored by the Netherlands, and once again it's a wild pitch, and we're tied at 2. It was actually going to be called a pass ball on Bramlett.
You can see Nelson on the delivery here. Pitch needs to be caught. That pitch is very catchable. You can see it just simply goes off Bramlett's glove. You've got to make sure as a catcher that you catch that ball inside your body. If that glove ever starts to move away from your body, there's a good chance it's going to get past you.
Smitty, these 2 teams faced each other twice in Canada for the Canada Cup. The Netherlands did not score a run in either game. They lost 8-0 on a 5-inning shortened game because of the run-ahead rule, and they lost 8-0 in another game that was shortened because of the run-ahead rule. So this is a surprise that they've scored twice already against Stacey Nelson. They're not going to score more than twice in this inning at least, as Spell strikes out against Nelson. But major damage done. A couple errors made in the infield, and it's now a tie game, 2-2 Netherlands and Team USA. Day 1 of KFC World Cup of Softball presented by Six Flags. The Netherlands going toe-to-toe with Team USA. It's a 2-2 game as we play the bottom of the third inning. Natasha Watley, Caitlin Cochran, and Jenny Finch will bat. Natasha swings with the first pitch and fouls it away.
You know, it's interesting, Eric, that we talk about the young athletes and the youth of this team, and a lot of times you'll find kids that go through college, they have phenomenal careers, and then they slip on that USA uniform and they have a hard time transitioning from the college game to the international game. And believe me, folks, there is a big jump between college ball and international ball. But sometimes it's just really hard for the athletes to make that transition. It's almost like they cannot get over the fact that I have this USA uniform on, and they want it so bad that they end up not really playing their game, playing the game that got them to this level. So it's really important to always remember that being in that uniform is only half of it. You have to perform as well.
Femke van Dushouten misses outside. Maybe another factor for a somewhat sluggish start for Team USA is we started about an hour later than we thought we were going to. Team USA's bus rolled into the ballpark, and it was raining cats and dogs. There was hail the size of golf balls. They were actually prisoners on their bus for a while because they couldn't go out, they would have been drenched. So they didn't have the normal infield practice that they would have. They didn't have the normal batting practice on the main field that they would have had. Maybe that's a factor.
Yeah, definitely. I think that that's a factor, but I also think that it's part of these athletes. It's part of the ritual. You put on that uniform. You know, you're playing in a position where, wow, Crystal Bustos used to be here, or wow, Laura Berg used to be in this outfield, you know, or Jessica Mendoza. You have all these kids that are thinking, wow, all these people, these athletes that I've looked up to, I'm now filling their shoes. I'm now in their position. And you know what? Sometimes when you think about that too much, you take your eyes and your head off of what really you need to be concentrating on, which is the game.
Yeah, Jay Miller bringing 10 new faces to the program this year. 10 of 18 are rookies. Natasha hits a chopper to second. Good play made by Von Heist. One up and one down here in the third inning. That is now 4 straight retired by the pitcher Femke van Dushouten. Ken Erickson, the pitching coach, talking things over with Stacey Nelson.
Outside, jam.
And instead of talking mechanics, he's talking about how do you throw these athletes. I think that we have a very young battery. Bramlett does call her game at Mississippi State, but again, you're now facing athletes that are the best of the best, 1 through 9. So Ken Erickson is working with Stacey Nelson, saying, hey, you've got to be committed to the pitch. You want to work out, come back in, work out, bust them off speed or back inside. You cannot be predictable in this game. You throw 2 pitches in the same spot in this game, one of them is going to get hit.
Ken Erickson, longtime head coach at University of South Florida, doing some coaching down there. Pop up third base side, that'll make it into the grandstands, and it scatters the aliens. What's that all about? We're always going to be able to find them on our screen, I think. Whew. You ever come to a ball game dressed like that before?
Absolutely not. You know, they said neon was hot this summer, so need to buy that color for my wardrobe.
Femke van Dushouten knows a thing or two about the fashion industry. She's a hairdresser. So it's her day job back over in Haarlem in the Netherlands. This time she gives up a solid base hit to right field off the bat of Caitlin Cochran. 1-out single for Cochran. Ball gets away in the infield, but not far enough for Katie to move on.
And you got to love that about Katie Cochran. Her first at bat, she hits the ball opposite way, triple into the left field, down the left field line. And then this last pitch, she gets a lazy pitch on the inside corner. She's going to turn on it and take it into right field. Look at her textbook hitting. Hands drop just a little bit, but it's low inside pitch. Look at the way she goes down and gets it. Her head, one of the best in the game at keeping her head down and through contact.
Back-to-back hits for Katie Cochran. That's now 5 hits as a team for Team USA. And another chance for Jenny Finch. Jenny drove in a run with an infield single her first time up. Jenny's now 28 years of age. Her and Natasha Watley have been with Team USA the longest. I think she's really enjoying being an elder statesman. Had a chance to talk to her earlier today. And I do think she's loving playing first base defensively and getting a chance to hit quite a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Jenny Finch is a thoroughbred. She loves to play. And when you're a pitcher on this U.S. staff and you only pitch one every 5 games, it can be tough. You almost feel like it's holding you back a little bit. But being able to play first base and hit, it's a great thing. And Jenny Finch earlier gets a nice RBI single, drives an inside pitch, muscles that through the infield. Not only does she pitch, she hits very well too. You have to love that. Team USA has always had a couple of really good hitting pitchers, and I think that's one of the things that has added to the strength of the team. Obviously, I'm talking about, no, not myself, but Lisa Fernandez. I also did a little bit of hitting as well for Team USA, and I have to say I enjoyed it. It was probably my favorite part of the game.
Well, talk about the confidence that Jay Miller has in Jenny Finch. He gave her the green light on 3-0. She fouls to the way right side. Smoked into center field. That's going to get down. Solid single for Jenny Finch. That may be the hardest hit ball we're going to see all day.
Yeah, Jenny, just so much power. I mean, she doesn't look like she's going to have a lot of power, but her levers, and when she gets those hands extended and that bat head through contact, that ball is going to jump off. Look at the way her swing is so short. So she's short too, and then a long, aggressive follow through contact, and that's really what it's all about.
So runners on at first and at second, still just 1 out here in the 3rd inning. And we're going to have a meeting on the mound. Craig Montvides is talking things over, and he's decided he wants to go to the bullpen. That'll be a new pitcher when we come back to Oklahoma City in a moment. Of it, Team USA's got a rally going. Just 1 out, runners on at first and at second, and a new pitcher coming on for the Netherlands. This is Rebecca Sumaru. She is the oldest of the players on this year's Netherlands team. She's 28 years of age. This is her 8th season with the national team. She was with the national team in Beijing last year. She is from Haarlem in the Netherlands as well. It's a bunch of club programs over in the Netherlands. They don't have a pro league and they don't have college level teams, but they have teams that represent different clubs in different towns across the country. Janae Liles is the batter. She was fooled with the off-speed pitch, and she's now down in the count. No balls, 2 strikes. Liles making this year's team because of the power that she has in that bat. Oh, man, that ball was hammered, but foul all the way.
And that's what I like to see from Janae Liles. She has a couple of defensive miscues last inning. She's going to come out. She's going to get her chance. A big AB here with runners on base. And this is what it's about. I like what she's doing. I like that she's aggressive. She's going to go after that ball, hit it hard. This is how you earn your stripes.
Sumeru runners on at first and at second. Delivers the 0-2. Hit high and deep to left center field. This ball's got a chance. It's gone! And so's the center fielder, Kosterink. A 3-run home run for Janae Liles. She makes up for her 2 errors in the top of this frame.
And Eric, that's exactly what I'm talking about. You know what? When you fall down, you have to keep getting back up. And look at Janae Liles. She doesn't let those defensive miscues bother her. She takes an outside pitch, drives this hard, 220 feet. And you can look at Saskia Kosterink. She's like, bummer. Ran out of room. And Kosterink is very good at doing that. She had a couple of big stills in the Olympics last year, robbing some home runs. That one just a little bit too far gone.
And Smitty, people who have followed the career of Janae Liles over the last 4 years when she played for Mike Candrea down in Arizona, they know that's what she does. Didn't have the greatest batting average during her time with the Wildcats, but when a hit was needed, that's who you wanted coming up with the dish. She was so clutch.
Absolutely, Eric. You want someone who wants to be in that box. And I can guarantee you, those defensive miscues last inning probably charged her up, fired her up, and said, darn it, you know, I got to get to work here. And that's what I like to see this team do. They need to make those mistakes, bounce back, and then just really learn that, hey, this is Team USA softball. This is the way we play. This is our tradition.
Swinging at the first pitch is Ashley Charter. She's quick down the line, and she beats it out. Infield single for Charter.
Yeah, Charter!
That's now 4 straight base hits for the Americans.
And Ashley Charters, I love the way she plays ball. Look at the way she just gets this down, a couple of hops down, but so much speed. She's going to get down the line and get to the bag. She runs so well. And especially, Eric, she's had hip surgery, which is amazing. She had to redshirt a year at the University of Washington. Unbelievable.
That's going to be an easy double play. The ball is popped up off the bat of Ashley Hansen. And Ashley Charter on the right is Ashley Hansen. 5-2 is our score as we play the top of the 4th inning. Earlier, my partner Michelle Smith caught up with the right fielder for Team USA.
This is the KFC Grill Zone, and I'm with Ashley Hansen. And Ashley, you're ready to be grilled?
Of course, bring it on.
All right, here we go. Facebook or Twitter?
Facebook.
Sweats or jeans?
Sweats.
Rise ball or curveball?
Rise ball.
Hitting or defense?
Hitting all the way.
Protein shake or milkshake?
Well, that's a tough one, but I have to go with the milkshake.
All right, great job, Ashley, and you've just been grilled.
She's the youngest member of this year's U.S. national team, just finishing her freshman year at Stanford. She was the Pac-10 Freshman of the Year.
Yeah, just a phenomenal athlete, and you know, the fact that we're going to get to see her for 3 more years at Stanford is just amazing.
How big of a deal is that for her? She's just 19 years of age and in the same outfield with Caitlin Lowe, arguably the finest defensive outfielder in the world today.
Yeah, you know that she's probably pinching herself a little bit, just like Caitlin Lowe used to do with Laura Berg and Mendoza, and look who's taking the circle.
Jenny Finch, we've seen her as the designated player already with a couple of base hits. Now she's going to get a chance in the circle. She comes on for Stacy Nelson. She'll pitch inning number 4.
And Jenny, just so many tools. She's a great defensive player. She plays first base very well. She hits well, and in the circle, she's just been phenomenal.
Coverage of the World Cup of Softball continues Friday night as Italy takes on the 2-time defending World Cup champion, United States. The KFC World Cup of Softball presented by Six Flags on ESPN and ESPN360.com Friday night at 8 Eastern Time. Jenny Finch, still probably the most recognizable face in all of the game. Last year during the Olympics, she was exclusively a pitcher, didn't get a chance to swing the bat at all. But this time around, the oldest member of the club, going to see a lot of time not only as a pitcher, but also with the bat in her hands.
Yeah, Jenny, just such a leader. And, you know, I love the way she really handles herself off the field. Obviously, she's so much fame, so much about Jenny Finch as an idol, as a person off the field. I mean, she's really done a lot. She's handled herself so well. But her love for the game, that's what I like to see. I like the way she works so hard because she's passionate about this sport.
So Finch will take on Virginie Annefeld to lead things off. The Annefeld, Von Heist, and Fairschlauch bat here in the 4th inning. The Netherlands had tied this game at 2. It's now a 3-point lead for the Americans. Janae Liles, a home run in the bottom of the 3rd to get Team USA right back on top. Well, Smitty, we're talking about all the things that Jenny Finch can do. We're missing a very important one. She pitches, she hits, she runs the bases, and she's also a mom.
That's right.
She's here on the road. She's got her son Ace with her. He's now 3 years of age.
That's right.
She's the only person on Team USA that doesn't have a fellow teammate as a roommate. Her roommate is a 3-year-old son.
Is her son. It's great.
Swing and a miss on 3 pitches. Annefeld strikes out. And with one batter, Jenny Finch has done what it took 3 innings for Stacey Nelson to do. She's got herself a strikeout.
And the key is that Jenny Finch can move the ball around. And at the international level, you've got to be able to make the ball move and change planes. You cannot be one-dimensional. Speed is going to fool nobody in this game. That last pitch, a rise ball, dances up, and that's what it's all about. Make the hitter think the ball's going to be in one spot, move it, so by the time they swing, it's in another.
Petra von Heist is the batter, and she takes a strike. Von Heist, an Olympian in 08, been with the national team since 2004.
And you know, Eric, one of the things that's interesting about some of the college ball players is that we've seen in the college game a lot of that east-west movement, a lot of curveball, a lot of screwball. Maybe the strike zone's a little bit bigger in college. In international ball, you're going to get squeezed. That's not going to happen. You've got to be able to put the ball on the plate. The pitches that really dominate in this game are drop ball, rise ball. Myself, I was a dominating rise ball pitcher. Lisa Fernandez, very good down as well as up, and that's really the key, is you have to be able to throw to all planes, but when you can really make the ball move up or down, hence, and probably the best example is Kat Osterman, a phenomenal drop ball, probably the best in the world. That's when you're going to have big-time success in the international game. I'd like to see more college players working on their rise ball, but a lot of them tend to shy away from it because the fences are only 190 feet down the line, so a mishit ball, it could be a home run in college. So a lot of kids, a lot of these young pitchers go away from throwing up in the zone because they're afraid they're going to be hit hard.
2-2 pitch, fouled back to the screen. Internationally, who's got the best rise ball nowadays in your eyes?
Kat Osterman's known more down, but her rise ball really has been coming along. Jenny Finch throws a very good rise ball as well. Monica Abbott's been working on her movement. Monica throws with a lot of speed. Sometimes she throws too hard, so she runs out of distance for the ball to actually move. Yukiko Ueno will throw a rise ball, but again, she's one of those that throws the ball so hard that it doesn't always simply move. It's just going past you really fast.
Yukiko Ueno was the person who defeated Team USA in the gold medal game last year in Beijing. That's the common denominator. When Team USA loses big games, it's usually Yukiko Ueno who's pitching. And she did not make the trip with the Japanese national team over to this year's World Cup of softball. So somewhat of a break for Team USA.
That's correct. Yeah, she's become like a rock star over in Japan. In fact, Japan had not won a gold medal since the 1964 Olympics in Tokyo, when the women's volleyball team won a gold medal. So that softball team, when they returned home, they were literally like rock stars. The ratings on NHK television in Japan were phenomenal. I think they said that there were almost 50 million Japanese that watched those games, and you know, the largest viewing audience of the entire Olympic Games, more so than even opening ceremonies or closing ceremonies, was that gold medal game.
Beautiful changeup by Finch, and she strikes out Von Heist. That's 2 consecutive punch-outs for Jenny.
When we talk, how do you fool batters? You fool them with movement through the zone or timing when that pitch shows up. And Jenny is a very good off-speed. Look at the way she's going to flip this ball out backward. It's going to spin. It needs to actually spin a little bit tighter. I'd like to see that pitch spin a little bit tighter because it would be that much harder to identify and hit. She comes right back with that changeup again.
This time this is upstairs, 1-0. Shortstop, Chantal Fairschlauch. Bounced out to the pitcher, Nelson, to end the second inning. Fouled back to the screen. Team USA has already played and won the Canada Cup, going 12-0 over the last couple of weeks up in British Columbia. After this World Cup of softball, they will have 2 different teams. It'll be a split squad. One team going over to Japan to compete in the Japan Cup. That's over a couple of days, end of July, early August. While the other U.S. national team will head down to Maracay, Venezuela in that same time period and play in the Pan Am qualifier. Swing and a miss. Ball gets away from the catcher, Bramlett. They'll throw it down to first base, and that'll retire the side. So Jenny Finch, a 3-up, 3-down inning. She strikes out all 3 batters she faces. Bottom of the 4th is next. Team USA up by 3. 3 catchers on this year's Team USA roster. We've seen Chelsea Bramlett. This is Ashley Holcomb and Lauren Lappin, who's got a lot of international experience. She is the veteran of the bunch behind the plate.
You know, it's interesting too, Eric, as you talk about those athletes, and a lot of times you find catchers that strictly catch. And for instance, Stacey Newman, although she did play a little bit of first base, the athletes, the catchers nowadays are becoming a little bit more versatile. It's amazing how much speed they have, how they can hit for average, maybe not as much power, but they do a lot of different things. And that's one of the things that we're seeing with Team USA. So many different tools. There's no one-dimensional athletes anymore on this U.S. roster.
Ball and 2 strikes to Ashley Holcomb. Former Alabama teammate on at second base, Brittany Rogers. Ball just disappeared under her bat, and that's a strikeout for Rebecca Sumeru, her first strikeout since coming on last inning in relief of Femke van Dushouten.
Sumeru realizing that she needs to use that off speed to keep this U.S. team off balance. So important to, again, not be one-dimensional in that circle. Move the ball around, change speeds.
Caitlin Lowe is the batter. Caitlin lays down a bunt. Third baseman makes the play. Anna Feld with a quick toss across the diamond, and there are now 2 outs. That's a sacrifice. No at bat for Caitlin Lowe. Moving over to third goes Brittany Rogers.
And Caitlin Lowe runs so well. She shows bunt, pulls back like she's going to slap, and then drops the bunt down. But you can see that the Holland defense not fooled by that bat action. But Caitlin does her job, and that's advancing the runner.
So Natasha Watley grabs the bat, takes a spinner on the inside part of the plate. Strike 1. Sumeru gets it signed and delivers the 0-1. Almost hit Natasha. 1-1.
Sumeru, righty, not afraid to work that curveball inside to Team USA. So as a right-handed pitcher, that ball's going to move into a lefty, and that's what we're seeing. She's hoping to jam up the left-handed hitters.
Right back to the circle. Sumeru fields her position well and retires the side. Leadoff single by Brittany Rogers does no damage. After the single, Holcomb, Lowe, and Watley are retired on ground balls. When we come back, Jenny Finch back in the circle. Was absolutely dominant in the top of the 4th inning, hitting a 1-2-3 inning with 3 straight strikeouts. Natalie Hochevir is the batter leading things off. She singled and walked in the 2-run 3rd inning for the Dutch national team. Smitty, this is a victory in itself for the Dutch national team. The last 3 times that they've faced Team USA in international play, 2 games in the Canada Cup and once last year in the Beijing Olympics. In those games combined, they lost 23-0. All of those games shortened because of the run-ahead rule.
Yeah, definitely for Holland to get on the board is definitely a small victory for them. You can see that they're playing with some confidence. Defensively, they've made some good plays. The pitching in the circle, I don't think they quite have what it takes to shut down a very good, strong offense for Team USA. But you know, when you look at what they've done over the past couple years and you look at this game, absolutely, they have to be proud of what they're doing.
That's 4 straight strikeouts for Jenny Finch. She hasn't allowed a ball to be hit and play since she came on in the top of the 4th inning.
And you talk about movement. Look at the way this pitch is going to just climb up over the bat of Hochevir. Look at the way it's a rise ball, the way it's going to travel up. Outstanding pitch. Again, movement on the corners, something that's very, very hard to hit.
Micah Vittefine is the batter, trying to lay down a bunt, do anything to get on base, fouls it back to the screen. Already today, the Netherlands, with a victory under their belt, they took down Italy earlier this afternoon on this field.
And that's a very big victory for this team as well, because in the past, Italy really challenged the European states for the championships. And Holland always seemed to come up just a little bit short. And then last year, in the Olympic qualifiers, they beat Italy in the championship game. Italy had won every game in that tournament. They show up in the championship game, and the Dutch beat them, and the Dutch punched their ticket over to Beijing.
Now, the Netherlands have played in 2 Olympic Games. 1996, that's back when you were playing for Team USA. And then last year, they won 1 game in the Olympics last year. That was against Chinese Taipei. They were 1-6 in round-robin action. No balls and 2 strikes to Witteveen. Time is called.
You can see Jenny having to take a long look at Holcomb, Ashley Holcomb, her catcher, trying to figure out what the signs are.
And again, time is called as Holcomb wants to have a chat.
And you know, you have to love the youth of this team. I love how much they're learning. It's like you can just see the process taking place on the field. And Jenny, talking with Ashley, and Ashley very talented, but when you haven't worked with the pitcher before, it takes a little bit of time. It takes some pitches, it takes some innings to get things together.
Beautiful change of pace, and that's now 5 straight strikeouts for Finch.
And I love it. You know, a lot of times I would never throw a changeup after I called a timeout with my pitcher, but look at the way Jenny, she's going to come with this pitch, and look at the way she explodes through. So that's what fools the batter. You've got to sell that pitch. She does it. That pitch comes in. It's a little bit high. I'd like to see it a little bit lower, but that's an outstanding change of pace by Jenny Finch.
Britt Fonk takes an off-speed delivery, 0-1.
And Holland came out, the Netherlands came out so aggressive early in the game while Jenny's shutting that right down. She's going to throw those changeups and let these Holland hitters know that, you know what, they need to keep their hands back. They need to be careful because you don't know if it's coming at 67 miles an hour or 50 miles an hour.
Fonk 0 for 2 so far today. Did reach on a walk and score back in that 3rd inning. A couple of errors defensively by Team USA, allowing the Netherlands to get a pair of runs. 64 miles per hour, misses outside, 2-1. Jenny accomplished so much during her 4 years at the Arizona Wildcats before joining the national team, playing in 2 Olympic Games. This is now her 4th World Cup of softball. And oh, by the way, she also plays professionally. She has been, for the last 5 years, one of the core players for the Chicago Bandits of the National Pro Fast Pitch League.
Yeah, and she's got a good month under her belt. She was in Chicago training really hard, playing some games, getting sharp for the Team USA tryout, and then also for the Canada Cup, and here, of course, the World Cup of softball.
Outside, able to hold her swing is Fonk. Actually, the majority of this year's Team USA roster does play professionally in the NPF. Jenny Finch, Kat Osterman, Monica Abbott, all getting in their reps and work, playing across the country professionally. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And that's the first base runner allowed by Finch. Fonk works the walk. Day 1 of the World Cup of softball. We're in Oklahoma City with 2-time Olympic gold medalist Michelle Smith. I'm Eric Collins. This is the first of 5 round-robin games the Team USA will play. Taking on the Netherlands. The Netherlands scoring twice in the 3rd inning on a couple of errors by the 3rd baseman Janae Liles. Liles would come back in a tone in the bottom of that inning with a 3-run home run. Saskia Kosterink is the batter. Led in the Olympics a season ago. Been aboard both times so far today. Tomorrow, Team USA will take on Italy. That's a 7 p.m. Eastern time start. And then a pair of games on Saturday. A high noon game to find out on ESPN against Canada. That'll be a really good test. And then an evening game, 7 p.m. Eastern time against Japan. That's the one that everyone's circling on their calendar. That'll be a rematch of the gold medal game from a year ago in the Olympics that was won by the Japanese national team, breaking the hearts of the Americans who had just cruised through the early portion of Olympic play. Kat Osterman and the rest, just a dominant presence in international softball for the last number of years before losing in the gold medal game. Liles on top of her game here, makes that play easily, a 5-3 putout. Side is retired. Jenny Finch continues to dominate. She has struck out 5 through her 2 innings of work. Talking things over with Jenny Finch and the catcher Ashley Holcomb. Kind of wonder what there was to talk about. Jenny Finch was dynamic, striking out 4 so far in 2 innings of work. Did give up that 2-out walk, but that's really the only blemish. Bottom of the 5th inning, United States on top of the Netherlands by 3. Caitlin Cochran, Jenny Finch, and Janae Liles, the scheduled 3 against Rebecca Sumeru. Cochran, a pair of base hits, a triple in the first, and a single in the third. Smitty, we were talking about all the turnover from the roster a year ago that went to the Olympics and was just so dominant on the Bound for Beijing tour. But 10 new faces for Jay Miller on this year's roster, 10 of the 18. How much of that fact do you think is the fact that there will not be Olympic softball in 2012? How much of that's weighed in the factor of a lot of the players saying, you know what, I'm just going to retire right now?
Yeah, definitely. I think some of the older athletes on the roster last year for Team USA decided, you know what, at some point I have to make a decision on when I want my career to end for Team USA. But Crystal Bustos is a great point. She's still playing in the NPF. Kelly Kretschmann, there are some athletes that decided, no, like Lovey Jung, I want to become a firefighter. They've got other goals they aspire to, but I think that the games, softball not being in 2012 was an impact.
Pop up on the infield made by the first baseman, Britt Funk. 1 up and 1 down. First time today, the Cochran is retired. And here comes number 27. We've seen Jenny Finch do it in the pitching circle. Now we get a chance to see her do it in the batter's box. I would say the last time up for Finch, she hit the ball harder than Janae Liles did on her 3-run home run to center field. An absolute howitzer shot to center field.
Yeah, Jenny Finch hit that ball square on. And, a lot of times we say in our sport, when you hit that line drive, you're hitting it perfect.
Another smash. This one past the diving third baseman, NFL. 3 for 3 day for Jenny Finch.
And, she just continues to teach with her actions. Want to know how to hit at this level? Watch Jenny. Short stride. Good rotation, outside pitch, but she's going to pull it. She's strong enough to get that bat head through and pull it. She gets her hands very quick to contact. That is the key in this game. You've got to be quick to contact. Long follow-through is what gives you the power.
So we're going to have a pinch runner for Jenny Finch. Jenny will more than likely stay in the game, but she's going to get a little bit of a blow as she's going to go to the bench, replaced by Lauren Lappin, running at first base for her, the former Stanford Cardinal great. Shows you the versatility of this roster. Lappin is usually the everyday catcher for Team USA, but she's still got enough wheels that she's pinch running in the game.
And that's one of the things. It's the new breed of the Team USA softball players, that they do a lot of things. We spoke about that earlier. And so for all the young ladies out there aspiring to want to wear that USA jersey someday, don't be one-dimensional. I can guarantee you that. If you're one-dimensional, you play one spot, you only hit one way, there's a good chance you won't have the opportunity to put that USA jersey on. What you need to do is learn every position. If you're an infielder, learn them all. If you hit from the left side, great, but also hit from the right side. And most of the times what we do is we see a right-handed hitter will turn around and learn to bunt or slap left-handed. But use your tools. Use everything that you can in order to become the best ball player that you can be.
Sumeru trying to figure out a way to stop Janae Liles. 2 for 2 days so far for Liles, including a home run off of Sumeru back in the 3rd inning. Liles, one of those rookies we've been talking about. Former Arizona Wildcat, 2-time national champion. Looked like she had the green light on 3-0.
Yeah, it looks like if that pitch was a little bit higher, she might have gone after it. And I guess if you hit a 3-run shot, you're at bat before, maybe you're allowed to have that green light.
Another ball hit well. This one on the left field line. It stays fair. Extra bases for Liles. Lappin being waved around 3rd. She will score. An RBI double for Janae Liles.
Janae Liles, I like what I'm seeing from her. This pitch, a drop down in the zone. She gets her hands extended, and look at the way she just drives that down the line. And Lauren Lappin runs very well, scoring all the way from 1st. You have to love the way that kid has bounced back in this game.
Ashley Charters is the batter. She takes a called strike. Charters added some hardware to her home earlier this spring. She was part of that Washington Husky National Championship team. One of her teammates, Danielle Laurie, is the star for the Canadian national team. She's also here in town. We'll see Team USA against Canada in a couple of days. That'll be a Saturday game. Saturday's early game at noon Eastern time.
Saw Danielle Laurie this morning at the hotel. Coming back from the ESPYs. You know, all these softball players are superstars now.
No balls and 2 strikes. Liles on at 2nd. Team USA has not dominated this event where they have been the host over the years. They did win this World Cup of Softball in 2006 and 2007, but the inaugural World Cup of Softball was won by Japan. It was a really exciting tournament that year. And Japan getting it done with a superlative championship game pitching performance by Yukiko Ueno. Team USA coming in 2nd.
Take a look at this off-speed pitch, and Charters just frozen on it. Look at the way it's spinning in the opposite direction. I think Charters thinks it's outside just a little bit. Sumeru working that pitch very well on the outside corner.
So the youngest member of Team USA, Ashley Hansen, grabs the bat, takes outside. Ashley still got a souvenir from her first time at the plate. She was hit on the back left elbow with a pitch, and she had some raised seams on that elbow. Looks grisly.
And that's a new look. A lot of athletes this year, these younger athletes that have come through college, played with that face mask. Well, they're now continuing to wear it for Team USA, something you did not see at all last year.
On the ground, good stop by the first baseman. Bonk steps on the bag, side retired. So Team USA will have to settle for a 1-run inning. Janae Liles has already got 4 runs batted in so far today. She had an RBI double.
And I'll tell you what, when I saw them after the game was over, they were hot. It was a very, very warm day here in Oklahoma City, and then for them to come back, have the hour rain delay, and play a very good game here tonight, you have to be impressed. This is what that program needs. You need to be stressed. You never want anything to be easy. Easy just builds complacency. You want those bumps. You want to be stressed. That's when you find out what your team is made of.
And Smitty, truth be told, this is case in point, what people say. A lot of people say Team USA, they dominate international softball. Well, that's not necessarily always the case. Another strikeout for Finch. That's her 6th through 2 1/3 innings.
Well, Finch is dominating, but you're right. Team USA, I mean, they're still, in my opinion, the best team in the world. But there's a lot more parity now. The world is catching up to Team USA, and as the experienced players of Team USA retire and you have the newer athletes come in, and then a team like Japan. Now, Japan is also young in this tournament. They've brought a lot of their younger players in order to train them for the future as well. But as these other teams build experience and then the USA players retire, you're going to see even more parity within the international game.
66 miles per hour. Inside part of the plate. Arika Spell down in the count 0-2.
And that's one of the things that we've been saying to the IOC, is that the game is not dominated by Team USA. Go back to the '96 Olympics. We lost a game to Australia. Yes, we won the gold medal. We beat China. 2000, we lost 3 games in the Olympics, to Japan, China, and also to Australia. But yes, we came back and won the gold medal. Athens was a different case. The U.S. had a very, very strong showing.
Spell strikes out, chased the pitch out of the strike zone. That's the 7th strikeout for Finch.
And then you look at the Beijing Olympic Games, and Japan defeats the U.S., and the U.S. comes home with the silver. Take a look at that rise ball, and Finch's rise ball's just been phenomenal, and this Holland team has just been chasing those pitches up in the zone. But if you look back over the last 4 Olympic Games, there has been a different silver medal winner in every Olympic Games. China in '96, Japan in 2000, Australia in 2004, and then Team USA last year in Beijing. That shows how many programs are very, very strong. Those are the type of messages we're trying to get out there in the Back Softball campaign, that the sport is growing. We're growing in Europe. We're growing in the Middle East and Africa. There's so many wonderful things about our sport that we just should not be denied. We should be back on that 2016 program.
And once again, the timeline. There will not be softball in the Olympic Games in 2012 in London, but there still is a chance to get softball back into the games in 2016.
Absolutely, and that's why we've basically titled our campaign Back Softball. If you want more information, you can go to backsoftball.com. There's a contact us page. It gives you a list of ideas on way you can help contribute to the efforts. And there have been a lot of athletes that have really been putting a lot of time in. And I have to say, one of the other things, Eric, that this has done is our sport is so united. It is like we are all fighting for our lives, and the athletes around the world are working very hard to make it happen.
Ooh, that ball hits Annefeld, just trying to get out of the way and check her swing. The ball rides up and in, and she's going to go to first base the hard way. Just the 2nd base runner allowed for Jenny Finch.
You see, this looks like a screwball that just cuts back and in. You can see Annefeld. You look at the way it just comes back in at her. It's driving inside, and Finch, you can see her reaction. The second she threw that pitch, she knew that one got away from her a little bit.
And there's going to be an out on the bases. I think that they said that Annefeld took a turn towards second base, and they call an out on the bases. Oh, a tough way to end the inning for the Netherlands. We'll be back to explain what just happened. Team USA will take it. Home half of the 6th is next. Saved by 4, 6-2 is our score. Kind of a crazy end to the top of the 6th inning. Virginie Annefeld was the batter, had 2 strikes on her. And Smitty, the ball rides up and in. What happened?
And you can see Annefeld, it looks like she's committing to the ball. It comes in, and it looks like it actually ticks off of her a little bit. And I have a sneaky suspicion they called it a strikeout. There must have been a look down to the first base umpire. The first base umpire decided that she swung. Her hands went forward, so rack up another strikeout. That's 8 on the game for Jenny Finch.
That's what they call adding insult to injury. You get hit with the ball and you still get called out for a swinging strikeout. So 8 strikeouts now for Jenny Finch in her 3 innings of work. So take the hit batsman off of her record. She's allowed just 1 base runner in 3 innings. That a 2-out walk in the 5th inning. Brittany Rogers all-everything center fielder for the Alabama Crimson Tide in her first go-around with the national team. Takes ball one. Smitty, one of the different flavors to this year's team. Jenny Finch, of course, still there. She's there talking with another Pac-10 player, Janae Leles. But this team isn't dominated by Pac-10 players by any stretch of the imagination. There's a lot of players from the other part of the country. The SEC, for the first time, is very well represented.
Yeah, that's a great point. Mike Candrea had a lot of his kids out of the Pac-10 championship that seemed like they were all California dominated. I know a lot of kids from the rest of the country are like, hey, I'm not from California, but can I still make the U.S. team? Yes, you can. Case in point, here's Coach Jay Miller, coach at Mississippi State. He sees the SEC teams all the time, and yeah, you've got a lot of great athletes. That parity we talk about that's happening around the world, it's also happening within the college game.
Single for Brittany Rogers on at first base. Brittany Rogers from Alabama, her teammate Ashley Holcomb, former Crimson Tide player. Of course, Monica Abbott, Tennessee Lady Vol.
And Rogers working on a slap. See the way she steps back, gets her front leg through, and that pitch up and inside. You do not want to throw a slapper up and inside on that corner. They open up, they're going to be able to turn on it just like Rogers did.
Other SEC players for Team USA, Stacey Nelson, the starting pitcher today from Florida, and Chelsea Bramlett, the catcher from Mississippi State. So 5 of the 18 are from Southeastern Conference schools. Everyone else, with the exception of Kat Osterman, who played at Texas, which is in the Big 12, everyone else is from the Pac-10. So 12 Pac-10, 5 SEC, and 1 from the Big 12.
Yeah, and if you look at the results of the Women's College World Series this year, three of the top 4 teams, SEC teams in Georgia, Alabama, Florida, but of course Washington won the championship.
SEC school has still never won the Women's College World Series.
I thought this was the year that it might happen, and Nelson strong in the circle for the Gators, just not enough offensive power to get the job done for the Gators.
Holcomb, little check swing, ball rolls foul.
Holcomb right now really fooled by the off-speed stuff. So important in this game to stay on that back leg, really keep your weight back and let that ball get deep. As soon as you get overcommitted to that front side of your body or that front leg, you lose all your power, everything breaks down, your weight will come forward. I like to step early, keep my weight back, and then turn on the ball. And that's one of the ways that you really need to hit a pitcher like we're seeing tonight in Sumaru, is that she's not going to blow the ball past you. So you want to let that ball get deep in the zone. How do you do that? Take a little bit of a stride early, keep your weight back, let it get deep, and then make that contact deep behind your front foot.
Pop up on the infield. Play made by the catcher, Timmermans, for out number 1. Take time out now and take a look at our Dermabond tough play of the game, and it features Jenny Finch.
Jenny, so many different tools, takes that pitch and drives it, and her pitching has been phenomenal. Rise ball comes back with a changeup, but that rise ball has been working so well tonight.
Yeah, what more can you ask out of Jenny Finch? With a bat in her hand, she's 3 for 3 with a run scored and a run batted in. In the circle, she's faced 10 batters. She struck out 8 of them. She hasn't allowed a base hit. She only allowed a 2-out walk in the 5th. That's it. And defensively, she's fielded her position well. Had a couple of balls hit back to her and made the play both times. All right, a first look at longtime member of the national team, Andrea Duran. This is Duran's 3rd World Cup of softball. She played on the Olympic team a year ago. Brittany Rogers, an easy steal of second base, her 2nd swipe of the ball game.
I think that's one of the differences that we'll see between this year's Team USA and last year's team. Last year's team, lots of power. They never really wanted to run into an out. This year's team, they're going to run aggressively. They're going to try to move the defense. They're going to do hit and runs when you least expect it. I like that. In my opinion, I think that's a good new look for the rest of the world to now have to react and figure out, okay, wait, now how do I defend this Team USA?
High drive to right field, going back on it and making the play is Spell. Tagging and going to third is Brittany Rogers. Nothing but a loud out off the bat of Duran. Yeah, Smitty, in years past, you think Team USA, and there was just thunder through that lineup with Crystal Bustos and Stacy Newman and Mendoza and Lovey Jung and
Kelly Kretschmann.
they could all just leave the ballpark lickety-split.
1 through 9, and it really came down to pick your poison. You know, if you're going to walk Bustos, then you have to face Newman, and if you're going to walk Newman, then you have to face Kelly Kretschmann, and it just was one after another, and that's really what wore down the pitcher. I mean, that was a tough lineup to throw to, and a little bit different look than this team as well is that they looked at a lot of pitches. They worked the pitchers deep into the count.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of first ball swinging out of the national team today.
Exactly, and you wonder, is that nerves or is that their MO? Is that the way this team's going to play?
Hard smash, Natasha Watley. Another RBI for the former UCLA Bruin. Second base hit of the night for Natasha, and it's now a 7-2 lead for the Americans.
And I have a funny feeling, getting back to Team USA, and are they aggressive, and is it first pitch, and you can see Natasha just such a great job going down and getting that ball, driving it. We think of Natasha a lot of times being a slapper, playing small ball, but boy, she can hit the ball very hard as well. But I think that's going to be more of the MO of this team. I think they're going to be aggressive. They have so much speed that even if they miss-hit the ball, if it hits the ground twice, there's a very good chance they're still going to be safe getting down the baseline.
So a meeting in the circle right now as Natasha Watley talks things over with Barbara Jordan. And a chance for Caitlin Cochran to hit. You can call her Caitlin, you can call her Katie. Coming up following our game, we'll have Sports Center coming your way right here on ESPN. Cochran takes outside. Cochran, part of that 2008 Women's College World Series champion team with the Arizona State Sun Devils. Hits this one hard down the right field line, and the play is made backing up by Spell. Good defensive play, the second one of the inning for the right fielder, and the side is retired. Team USA, they score another run and an RBI base hit by Natasha Watley. We go to the KFC World Cup of Softball presented by Six Flags, top of the 7th inning. Team USA 3 outs away from their first win in this year's tournament. They lead the Netherlands by 5. Jenny Finch has been absolutely dominant. She has struck out 8 through 3 innings of work. And this is going to be the bottom part of the lineup for the Netherlands. Petra van Heist, the 7th batter, leading things off. It'll be van Heist, Verschlausch, and Hochever batting here in the 7th. Didn't mean to. And she's now down in the count. No balls, 2 strikes. Smitty, the pitchers that we haven't seen today. We've already seen Stacey Nelson and Jenny Finch. Still have a chance to see Monica Abbott and Kat Osterman. And Katie Burkhardt as well, for that matter. Of those 3, who's pitching the best right now?
And all lefties, I might add.
You're a big fan of the southpaw.
I am, being one myself. I think that, you know, Kat is phenomenal. She's not going to blow the ball past you, but she's got that great movement.
There's another strikeout for Jenny Finch, her 9th. Coming up next, right here on ESPN Sports Center coming your way. Don't go anywhere. The full day recap in the sporting world. 1 out, top of the 7th inning. Chantel Verschlau will be the batter.
And then getting back to your question, Eric, then you have Monica Abbott, who's going to throw the ball hard. Not as much movement as Kat, but throws the ball hard through the zone. And then there's Katie Burkhardt. Katie Burkhardt is more of a Kat Osterman type of a look. She's going to throw the ball in the low 60s. She has a good down ball. She's got a good rise ball, curve ball. She's looking to build something, work something on that outside quadrant of the zone to a right-handed batter or inside low and in to a lefty. She's actually playing over in Japan as well, trying to hone her skills. So she's familiar with the Japanese. She's been over there for a couple months. And You're seeing more and more of these U.S. players go over to Japan. Monica Abbott is now over in Japan. Natasha Watley is over in Japan. So we're seeing quite a few of these athletes make the trek overseas. There's a good chance that tomorrow we will see Katie Burkhart in the circle against Italy.
Katie Burkhart, teammates with Caitlin Cochran at Arizona State, winning a national championship on this field 2 years ago. 2 balls and a strike. Finch looking for her 10th strikeout. Beerschlauth 0 for 2 so far today. All the offense coming from the Netherlands in that 3rd inning. 2 runs scored on just 1 base hit. The defense was not airtight for Team USA in that frame. A couple of errors by the 3rd baseman, Liles. There's a good strike. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Take a look at this screwball in the inside corner, and Jenny, look at the way she's going to open up. She's going to drive her hand inside toward her hip and then away. That's going to get that ball to bend back inside for the right-handed batter.
Another strikeout for Finch.
And another great screwball. Jenny has just worked that inside corner so well tonight.
Smitty, what has been the difference between Jenny Finch striking out 10 in 3 2/3 inning, as opposed to what we saw to Stacey Nelson, who was somewhat effective, but only struck out 1 in 3 innings of work?
Well, we know it's not the velocity because Nelson was actually throwing the ball a little bit harder than Jenny Finch. But what Jenny does so well is she has that movement. And this international game is all about getting that movement. Spin that ball really, really tight. But one of the keys between playing as an NCAA athlete or pitcher and throwing at the international level is getting used to this ball. The ball that we use in international play is a little bit heavier than the lighter ball that's used in NCAA ball. So a lot of the hitters are having to adjust to that ball, but specifically the pitchers as well. They have to learn to strengthen themselves up. They have to get stronger. And you have to remember, they're young. They're very young. You know, Stacey Nelson is what, 22 years old? She's got a lot to learn. She's got a lot of strength to build. And when she can do that, snap that ball really hard, she'll get more movement on the ball. Movement is what fools batters. And that pitch there, when it's in the zone, that would be her off speed. Take a look at the way Jenny is going to get through release. She's going to explode off, and then look at the way she's going to come back around. It's almost like a horseshoe type of a grip. And look at the way the ball's spinning. The key is the tighter a ball spins, the faster it looks like it's coming at you. You always want your changeup to spin very tight.
Ball and 2 strikes. The Netherlands down to their last strike against Jenny Finch. Finch has struck out 10 in her relief work. She's recorded 11 outs in 3 2/3 innings. 10 of them have been via the K. Make it 11. Jenny Finch, 4 innings of relief. She strikes out 11, and Team USA, they win their opener here in the World Cup of Softball.
Just a phenomenal performance by Jenny Finch. The offense comes alive. A couple of miscues, but you know what, Eric, I like to see those. I like to see the mistakes and then see Team USA bounce back from them. You never want anything to be easy. You want to be stressed, and this young team, when they're stressed, that's the way they're going to get better.
Final line score is correct. Team USA, they knock off the Netherlands by a score of 7-2. The Americans scoring in every inning with the exception of the 2nd and the 4th. The eyes of the softball world are on Oklahoma City. Specific, but the Americans strike first. Andrea Duran, her first home run of this World Cup of Softball, and the Americans on top of Canada by a score of 5-0. An inning, lots of new faces getting used to each other on Team USA this summer. Time now for our Dermabond bonding moment with Lauren Lappin.
My favorite team bonding moment with this team so far was in Canada. Our band, our driver's Natasha Watley, and I'm in the front seat, and then Dre and Caitlin and Brittany and Janae are in the van, and we have a series of songs that we play, but we get it all started with Joyful Joyful from Sister Act 2. And we pump the iPod as loud as it can possibly go, and grab a water bottle as a microphone, and we rock out to Joyful Joyful, get us feeling good before the game, clapping our hands, you know, really feeling the groove before we head to the field.
Lauren's got some energy. I love it. And she's wearing the pink cleats today in honor of the pink out that we're having, trying to increase breast cancer awareness here in the ballpark. She's really coming of age as a player on this national team.
Yeah, definitely. She's really molding herself to be the player that she wants to be. She works very hard.
Monica Abbott misses inside. Ball 1 to Jennifer Yee here in the second inning. And what are we going to have? Is that another illegal pitch? And a busy day so far for the home plate umpire, Motoichi Ueda.
And getting back to the pink out here today, talking a little bit about...
You didn't call this last week up in Canada. How come we're calling it now?
You didn't see the last week in Canada.
You didn't see her. You did too. You called our games with it. You never called the one up there.
And it was an illegal pitch called against Abbott, so it's going to be ball 1.
Absolutely. She is off the mound. You know, if you're a couple inches, it's fine, but right now she's a good 6 inches off the pitching rubber. She slides, and then that step is just so far off the rubber. And the umpires are correct to make that call, and they need to make that call because Monica can pitch with her foot on the rubber. It's just a matter of what you saw her doing there. Fix the rubber, get the ground so that you're comfortable and you can stay back on the plate or on the pitching rubber and be able to throw the pitch. And getting back to the pink out here today is that Sue Kretschmann, who is the mother of Kelly Kretschmann, was diagnosed with breast cancer back in April. She starts radiation in a couple of weeks, and you know, cancer has touched unfortunately quite a few lives. I remember back on the 2000 Olympic team, Stacy Winsberg, who was a good friend of ours. She was our physical therapist going into the 2000 Olympics. She passed away.
Line drive, base hit for Jennifer Yee, leadoff batter on for the Canadians.
And Stacy Winsberg passing away from cancer. There's just so many people that, unfortunately, that illness somehow it touches people in our lives, and we want to reach out and remember them. And also to Sue, we wish her the best of luck with her treatments as they begin.
Now, with the exception of skin cancers, breast cancer is the most frequently diagnosed cancer among women. But currently, there are 2.5 million breast cancer survivors. So the whole concept is early recognition, and it's treatable. Recommendations: women age 40 and over receive annual screening mammography. So
absolutely, the earlier you can catch it, the greater the chances of survival, and that's really what it comes down to with all cancers, but especially with breast cancer.
Sheena Lalrick is the batter, former Nebraska Cornhusker. She is from Calgary, Alberta, but came down in the States to play her college softball. She's been with the national team for a while now, over in Beijing, on the 4th place team Canada last year in the Olympic Games. All the years we've seen Lalrick play for Canada, she's always been right there in the middle of that lineup, hitting either 3rd, 4th, or 5th. Abbott misses upstairs. It's now 3 balls and a strike. Blew it right past her, 68 miles per hour.
Yeah, and I actually think, you know, getting back to the illegal pitches, I actually think that Monica Abbott pitches better when she does keep her foot on the pitching plate. You know, I think that when her foot's off the pitching plate, her ball flattens out a little bit more. When she keeps it back on the pitching rubber, I think that's when she gets a little bit more movement because it slows her velocity down. I like to see Abbott throw the ball about 68 miles an hour. She gets more movement, more spin on the ball. Take a look at this pitch here. You can see the rotation on it. It's like a low rise ball. When Monica starts throwing the ball too hard, she actually runs out of time for the pitch to move at all.
That's the 2nd strikeout for Abbott. There's now 1 out here in the 2nd inning. Yee still on at first base. And the second baseman, Jessica Tietzen, will bat. She is a rising sophomore at Point Loma Nazarene in San Diego. She is from British Columbia. The majority of players on the Canadian national team are from that western province. You take a look at that Canada dugout, and one of the players not in the starting lineup today, either as a position player or as the pitcher, is arguably the most decorated player in the history of Canadian softball. There's another strikeout for Abbott. There are now 2 outs here in the second inning. Danielle Laurie is not in today's starting lineup. She is still on the Canadian national team. Laurie, the college player of the year, there she is. She was all everything at Washington this year, winning the national championship. Not only an elite pitcher, but she also was an elite hitter this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone knows her in the circle as being a very strong pitcher, but she was outstanding at the plate this year. She really helped the Huskies get on the board. She helped her own cause through almost every game in postseason for the Huskies, and you know, just did a great job.
And I think she knows we're talking about her. Comstone fouls it back. I guess the thinking, Smitty, is she's the best that Canada has to offer. And if Canada's going to win this whole tournament, they're going to have to beat Team USA probably in the gold medal game. The thinking is Team USA is going to make it the gold medal game on Monday. And I guess Canada hoping that Laurie will be somewhat fresh and Team USA won't have too much experience against her come Monday. Base hit to center field for Comstone. Do you agree with that strategy of keeping your best pitcher out of the game?
Well, and a lot of times you're correct, Eric. You do see that in round robin play, a lot of staffs or a lot of countries will not throw their #1 pitcher against Team USA because they want to save them for that championship bid. So everybody else plays for that #2 spot to get to the championship game to face Team USA. And you know, that's the thing that's tough. You have to play, you have to play your strategies correctly in order to get there. You'd like to see Team USA challenged a little bit more often, seeing #1 staffs. But again, it comes back to if you only have that one real experienced pitcher, you want to use her when it counts the most.
Megan Timpf, the batter, takes high and outside, 1-1.
And you know, we even saw that in the Olympics last year in Beijing. Japan did not throw Yukiko Ueno in round robin play. They threw Emoto, and Emoto obviously gave up a lot of runs. Team USA rolled in that game, but then Ueno did throw in the semifinals and of course the gold medal game once it counted.
And Ueno and Japan winning against the Americans. So that's why Team USA is not the #1 ranked team in the world anymore. That would be Japan.
Yeah, big grudge match coming up later on tonight. Timpf holds back on that rise ball offering from Abbott.
They get bad here early in this game. Canada already down 5-0. They'd like to get on the board. And it's a good hitter's count. 3 balls and 1 strike to Megan Timpf.
And so this is the part of the game that I think Abbott needs to work a little bit more on. Those rise balls are coming in at 68 miles an hour. They're high in the zone, but they're not moving a whole lot, and that's why these Canadian hitters are not completely swinging or committing to that. If she can throw that pitch a little bit lower, get more spin on it, she'll get better break or better movement. Now that pitch comes in, that one was probably about 68, 69 miles an hour. But there's, again, not a whole lot of movement on it. She needs to really work on getting this pitch a little bit lower in the zone and then letting it lift or move through the zone. That's when she'll get more batters to swing through, not just because of the velocity, but because of the movement.
3-2 pitch. Called strike 3, got the outer corner side, retired. Abbott gives up a couple of ace hits, but she strikes out the side. She's now got 4 strikeouts through 2 innings. To the bottom of the second inning we go. Monica Abbott and Team USA cruising. They lead 5-0. His style of softball. What have you seen over the last couple of days as what's going to be the characteristics of a Jay Miller USA club?
I like the speed that he has on this club. I like the fact that he's not afraid to run them, to call hit and runs. I think he's a little bit more aggressive.
Ashley Charters hits it to left field, and a nice play made by Melanie Matthews, getting a good jump and making the play on the run. 1 up and 1 down here in the second.
And I like the way that he also...
What? Here we go.
He talks to the kids. He coaches
Come on, Tosh. Here we
the
go.
kids. He tells them what he wants. He whistles at them. I like that. Got to get their attention, which is good because then he's not always yelling to get their attention.
Watley swings at the first pitch. Tough chance made by the second baseman, Tietzen. 2 up and 2 down on 2 pitches here in the second inning.
That's being efficient. 2 pitches, 2 outs.
First of 2 games. Team USA on this Saturday, day 3 of the World Cup of Softball. Later on this evening, they will take on Japan, a team that took the gold medal away from them. It's the gold medal Team USA thought they were destined to win last year in the Beijing Summer Olympics. The Americans, for the first time in 4 Olympics, had to settle for a silver. Caitlin Lowe on last year's team. Hits it past the shortstop, Salling into center field. 2-out base hit for Caitlin.
Caitlin, so many tools. She can bunt the ball, she slaps the ball, she can hit. And that's the one thing that is so impressive about this U.S. team, is that each of these athletes is so versatile. They can do so many different things, and when you have that type of athlete on the bench, you can do so much.
Another base hit for Team USA. Alyssa Haber hits it into right field. That allows Caitlin to go all the way to third base.
I like the way Haber turns on that ball. First pitch, swinging. She sees a pitch, it's on the white. She gets her hands extended and through that ball. Look at the way she just follows through, rotates around, gets it right past Lawrick, the first baseman. And because Caitlin Lowe is just so speedy, she knows that ball goes to right field. There's no reason why she shouldn't be at third base.
Runners on at the corners. Caitlin Cochran grabs the bat. There goes Haber down to second. She'll make it without a throw. First steal of the day for the Americans. Saw them steal 5 bases in the first inning of the game yesterday against Italy. It's actually the second steal of the day for Team USA. Natasha Watley got one in the first inning. Changeup misses down in the dirt. 1-1 to Cochran. Ground to first. Play made by Lawrick. Side retired. So a 2-out rally is snuffed out by Leah McIntosh. She does a heck of a clear. Smitty sat down with today's starting pitcher, Monica Abbott.
This is the KFC Grill Zone, and I'm with Monica Abbott. Monica, you ready to be grilled?
Of course.
Rise ball or curve ball?
Both.
Oh, I like it. I like it. Fruits or vegetables?
Vegetables.
TV or computer?
Computer.
Protein shake or milkshake?
Ooh, milkshake.
Uh-oh. You won't tell the coaches that.
Yeah, don't tell them.
College football or pro football?
College football.
All right, well, great job, Monica, and you've just been grilled.
Monica Abbott and Team USA on top of Canada by a score of 5-0 as we play the top of the third inning. Monica's given up a couple of base hits. One to Jennifer Yee last inning, one to Erin Cumstone, but she has not allowed a run scored, mainly because of the strikeout. She struck out 4 so far in the first 2 innings. Leading things off, Caitlin Lever fouls it away third base side. Lever from Buffalo, New York. She's got some Canadian heritage. Played her college softball down in the ACC at Georgia Tech. She also plays professionally in the States. Spent some time in the NPF with the Chicago Bandits. Ball is foul, third base side, 0-2. Caitlin Lever considered to be one of the finest defensive center fielders in the international game. She was on the Olympic team last year for Canada.
And during the break, I've been looking at my Twitter account. I've been tweeting during the game, and someone out there wants to know if I think Kat will pitch later on tonight against Japan. You know what? I think we're going to see her in the circle.
Swing and a miss. That's now 5 strikeouts for Abbott. There's a good look at Kat Osterman getting loose, thinking about the game tonight. You haven't seen Kat so far.
We have not, but I'm looking forward to seeing that ball dance tonight against Japan.
One up and one down here in the third inning. Melanie Matthews bats for the second time. She popped out to second baseman to begin the game. How do you think Jay Miller worked out the pitching matchups? Why was it important to throw Abbott today against Canada and Kat tonight against Japan?
Well, I think the main reason why is because the last time they played in the championship game up in Canada, the Canada Cup, Kat started that game. Again, we mentioned that Team USA won that game 3-2. Team USA scored 2 runs in the bottom of the 7th to win that championship. So the last time they were on the field, Kat threw. So I think this is a good mix. Abbott also threw earlier in the tournament in the semifinal game, threw a great game against Canada. So I think this is smart. Put his 2 veteran pitchers on the in the circle today. It's a long day, 2 games against probably the toughest 2 teams here. They have Australia also though tomorrow, who's been playing well. But I like Kat against Japan. I like that lefty matchup and the movement.
Pop up behind home plate. Play made by the third baseman, Andrea Duran. 2 up and 2 down here in the third. You take a look at Monica Abbott and Kat Osterman. We'll get back to that in a moment.
Look at Duran. Look at the way she's going to be talking to Lappin. She knows Lappin's coming over. Even though they can't see each other because they're both tracking the ball, they continue to talk. So important. Don't call it once and then try to run under the ball because you're going to hit your teammate as well. Continue to call it over and over.
This is Victoria Hayward, the 17-year-old who takes strike 1. Finishing up that thought, you take a look at Monica Abbott, you take a look at Kat Osterman, both very tall left-handed pitchers, but they really go about their business in totally different ways.
Yeah, absolutely. Kat is all about movement and spin. She throws the ball about 62 to 63 miles an hour. In fact, I like to say to Kat, or when I critique her, is that I like Kat to be thrown about 80% because that way she's really going to spin the ball. She's going to get that movement. Abbott, on the flip side, she's going to throw the ball about 68 miles an hour, and she does not have near the movement as Kat, so she typically sneaks the ball past the batters, whereas Kat dances it past the batters.
Abbott looking for strikeout number 6. 0-2 pitch. Hacked foul into the grandstands.
And that's the reason why earlier, too, I spoke that I think that Abbott actually throws better when she keeps that foot on the rubber. It slows her down just a little bit, and then she can really work on her movement because 68 to 70 miles an hour, yeah, it's fast. But you know what? In this game, it's not the velocity. Yukiko Ueno throws the ball 70 miles an hour. It's her changeup, though, that fools batters.
Right back to the circle. Abbott fields her position well and throws out Hayward. A 1-2-3 inning. Abbott's now retired 4 in a row. Game 1 by Japan. New pitcher coming on for Canada, Melissa Litster. Litster misses inside with her first pitch to Jenny Finch.
Litster, a little bit of a different look. She's got that screwball she's throwing. Rise ball.
She's taking on one of the hotter hitters in this year's tournament. Finch with that single in the first inning, driving in her 4th run of this World Cup. She is now 5 for 7 in 3 games with the bat in her hands. And oh, by the way, she's also pitched, logging 4 innings of work on Thursday against the Netherlands. She recorded 12 outs while pitching. 11 of them were strikeouts.
Yeah, and I think that Jenny's pitching game has improved so much. She's really worked on her movement. She'll throw the ball hard as well.
That ball may have been off her thumbs.
Actually, I think it might have come off her shoulder. Hopefully not her pitching shoulder. Actually, it was.
No doubt about it. Jenny Finch, the most popular player here. I'm like Jenny, blonde, beautiful, talented.
Dominant in the circle.
Yes, you are.
Great.
Counts full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. I don't think that Jenny Finch is complaining about the pink uniforms for Team USA.
No, it's her favorite color. But getting back to Jenny and her pitching, I think that she's really just worked on her movement. It's been great to see her develop over the last 6 or 7 years here for Team USA, is that she does not just rely on her speed. Her first year on the team, when I played with her, she was more about trying to blow the ball past the batter, and you can do that in college. You can basically beat up the batter, but not at the international game. You have to learn that movement, and Jenny has really taken her pitching to a new level with that pitching. I think her rise ball over the last 2 to 3 years has really, really been sharp.
Do you see her pitching at some point today? Maybe coming on in relief of Monica, or maybe coming on in relief of Kat Osterman, or will those be games the Team USA will try and get complete games from both their pitchers? Hit into shallow left field. Salling makes the play on the run. 1 out here in the 3rd.
Yeah, I think there's a good chance that Abbott might go the distance here, depending on what the offense does. They're already up 5-0. They only need 2 more runs to make this a run ahead rule game. You have Kat going tonight against Japan. I think there's a good chance that we could see Finch tomorrow against Australia at 1 Eastern on ESPN, that game. So it's hard to say at this point, but I would, if I was the coaching staff, I would let my veteran pitchers try to throw complete games at this point.
Liles swings at the first pitch, and for the first time in 3 games, she's retired. Liles had been a perfect 6 for 6. Now she grounds out to the second baseman for out number 2.
Liles, what a great story. When I spoke with her after coming back from the Canada Cup, she was just so disappointed. She didn't feel like she had many ABs up there, not a lot of playing time. She was struggling with that after coming off of a college season where she played every inning of every game. And now she was trying to adjust to what it feels like to sit on the bench, not get a lot of opportunities. And then when she did get the opportunity, she felt like she wasn't performing. And then boom, all of a sudden she gets on the field for Team USA. A couple of errors in the top of that 3rd inning, and it was almost like she just threw her gear down and said, "That's it, no more, I'm stepping up." And she came up to the plate in the bottom of that 3rd inning and hit that huge 3-run home run. And since then, it's just been lights out. She has been on fire, and you love to see an athlete just turn like that, 180-degree turn, and boom, just work on exploding out of the starting gates.
And I'm sure it meant a bunch to her to do it on the national team, because everyone's trying to get a feel for what these rookies can do on this level. And I'm sure Jay Miller was checking boxes and saying, okay, she's good at this, maybe not so much at this. But the way that she's turned it on over the last 3 days has got to really increase her stock with the national team as that pitch gets away from Lister.
Yeah, that changeup looks like she just held on to it a little bit too long. So important for changeups to be thrown, I'd like to say, underneath an imaginary box. You can see, look at the way she's going to hold way on to that too long and flips it way up.
Duran works the walk, so the first base runner for Team USA here in the 3rd inning.
Yeah, Eric, and getting back to your point is that, you know, there are some athletes that are just phenomenal in college, and then they put that USA uniform on and they just never really adjust to this international game. And you know, for a while you wondered if that was going to happen to Liles, but boy, she's just really turned it around. And I mean, she looks very comfortable now at the plate, and you got to love that. These young athletes, 10 of the 18 first-time members of Team USA, you know, they're all feeling it out. They're learning what it's like to play at this level and what they need to do to adjust at this level. And a lot of times in college, the college coaches are always working with them, and they're adjusting possibly game to game. To be successful at this level, you need to adjust to pitch and inning by inning.
Lappin's almost hit with that pitch. Snap throw to first base, and Duran back standing.
Take a look at the pitch. It's a screwball in the inside corner, which means it's going to ride back in on Lappin. Comstone's going to make that snap throw down.
And again, Lidster having a hard time finding the strike zone.
And that screwball is just going to keep moving back in toward a right-handed hitter. Lappin has a little bit of a tendency to lean over the plate. You have to be careful. If you do that, facing a screwball pitcher, that's typically when you're going to get hit.
On 4 deliveries, Lappin works the walk.
And this is where Team USA is so strong. In each of these innings, first, second, and third, they've mounted their rallies with 2 outs. A lot of times you think, boy, you have Team USA, you've got 2 outs on them. You're cruising through the inning, and then all of a sudden they start a 2-out rally.
Ashley Charters, former Washington Husky, grabs the bat. She popped out to left field. Back in the second inning. Now she's started with a strike, 0-1.
And Ashley Charters is middle infield mate with Jen Selling, the shortstop for Canada. So those 2 athletes, those 2 women know each other very well. They've turned a lot of great defensive double plays for Washington during the spring.
There's 3 members of that national championship team on the field right now. Ashley Charters in the batter's box, Salling at shortstop, and in the dugout for Canada is Danielle Laurie, College Player of the Year. Charters from Beaverton, Oregon. Born in Boise, Idaho, playing in Seattle, Washington. So she's been a Northwestern native all her life. Takes downstairs.
Lister struggling a little bit with her screwball. It looks like her legs are a little a little lazy. She needs to be a little more explosive off the pitching rubber, get that front foot down and then drive off it.
Pitch sails high. It's going to be full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Charters.
3 balls, 2 strikes.
Rand's on at second, Lappin's on at first. They're ready to move. That's 3 straight walks. Lister started off the inning by retiring Jenny Finch on a pop-up and Janae Liles on a ground ball out, but has since walked Lappin, Duran, Lappin, and now Charters. So you walk 3 to get to Natasha Watley. Never a good idea.
No, never a good idea. And Natasha Watley, one of those athletes that can do so much. She can drop a bunt. She can slap. The best bat control, I think, in the game. But the other area where Natasha has really excelled is her power. Don't be surprised to see her drive the ball deep here.
Fouled back to the screen.
Boy, and Watley just missed that. And we've talked about how important it is when you throw strikes. You have to throw those strikes on the corner. If you get too much of that ball on the plate, too much of it on the white, boy, it's going to get hit hard by this U.S. team.
The 1-2. Didn't have a chance at all. Counts even. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Smitty, you'd imagine this is going to be the pitch that she's going to have to throw the strike. You don't want to go 3-2.
No, that's a great point. She's going to need to come in to throw her best pitch in this particular case.
And it's spoiled. Shot foul down the third base line. Monica Abbott's staying loose. Throwing to Ashley Holcomb. Also out there behind the left field wall is Jenny Finch.
And Jenny just looks like she is enjoying herself here at the World Cup of Softball. She's getting a lot of playing time. She's getting at bats, something we haven't seen the last couple of years. Coach Candrea used her primarily as a pitcher. I think she's loving this new role.
Oh, this ball is smoked. Watley deep over the fence in right center field. A grand slam home run. Smitty, you called it. Tasha can do a little bit of everything. There she shows off her power stroke.
And I did call it. I have seen her hit that ball so hard, and that's what I love about Watley. You have to respect her speed, but you know what? She's becoming more and more known for her power and hitting out of the #1 spot. We've seen her also hit out of the 3 spot. Look at this swing. Look how beautiful that is. That back hip drive, the way she just really explodes through. That's what I teach kids when I work with them. Back hip rotation to really drive off that leg. And look at that wonderful, beautiful smile.
So 4 runs with 1 swing of the bat, and Team USA rolling right now. A 9-0 lead. You can make the case that Natasha Watley's the best defensive shortstop in the world. You can make the case that she's one of the fastest players in the world, and now she's showing off her power as well. Caitlin Lowe, an infield single. Nice high hopper to the left side, no chance at all. That's now the 5th consecutive American to reach base safely.
Yeah, those 3 walks to Duran, Lappin, and Charter is never a good thing when you walk 1 batter, more or less 3 to load up the bases. Whatley with that big home run, and now Lowe. It just seems like Team USA is getting so comfortable. It's like at bat, game by game, they are just starting to really mesh and gel.
So Alyssa Haber, Stanford Cardinal, steps in, singled and stole a base her last time up. Smitty, earlier today we were talking about Caitlin Lowe and wondering when she was going to get her first base hit. She was 0 for 2 in the first 2 games. She's 3 for 3. 3 for 3. We're only in the 3rd inning today.
Yeah, she's a tough out. When Caitlin Lowe gets on a roll, she's a very difficult out, and she's another one of those athletes that has great bat control. So she will spoil pitches close to the zone until finally the pitcher makes a mistake, and then boom, she's going to sneak it past the defense. Or she's going to put it down and let it hit the dirt twice. There's quite a few members of Team USA. If that ball hits the dirt twice, there's no way you're going to get them out. They are getting down the line in about 2.6, 2.7 seconds. I like to talk to these young athletes and tell them, you want to improve your game, you got to work on your agilities, work on your speed training, your plyometrics.
Lifted down the left field line, another single for Haber. Caitlin Lowe's not going to force the issue. She'll stop at second. A 2-out single for Haber. That's now 6 straight that have reached base safely for Team USA.
Alyssa Haber taking an inside pitch. Look at the way she hits this ball inside out, drives it down the line. It's going to curve towards the line because she's left-handed, and she hits it down the left field line. But that's one of the things that's so impressive about this U.S. team is they hit the ball inside out, and that's very difficult to pitch against because you throw the ball on the inside corner, they drive it the opposite way. You throw it on the outside corner, they wait a little bit longer, and they hit it for power the opposite way. So when you're pitching against this type of a club, you've really got to mix speeds. You've got to make sure you get that inside pitch on the corner or off of it so they respect it, and then you need to make the outside pitch move. You can't just leave it lazy on the outside corner.
Caitlin Cochran down in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Cochran, the only member of Team USA's lineup so far today that has yet to reach base safely. She's 0 for 2. Check swing off the third baseman's chest. Everyone's going to be safe. Megan Timp, lucky to just stay in front of that one. They're going to call an error on Timp. That was a tough chance. Ball just jumped up on her.
Well, Katie Cochran hits the ball very hard. That's an outside pitch, but the mistake Katie makes is that she doesn't finish her swing. And Tim, because she's playing deep so far back, she should have had that ball. If she's up the line, I can see that being a base hit. But she's behind the bag. That's almost a slow pitch position. You need to be able to make that play. But Katie, I think in that particular case with her swing, she kind of gave up on that. And I talked about with Team USA, it's so important to be committed, and this team typically is. Katie knows that she needs to finish her swing on that. If you're going to swing at a pitch, swing at it, be committed. If you miss it by a mile, swing hard at it and miss it by a mile, but at least you know you're taking a full cut. Commit to the pitch once you start your swing.
Vicky Galindo will now pinch hit for Jenny Finch, and she fouls it back to the screen. Galindo is yet to start so far in this year's World Cup. She's getting a chance to hit here for Jenny Finch, who more than likely will stay in the game.
Or there's a chance we could see her pitch with Abbott doing so well through 3 in Team USA now up 9-0. This would be a run-ahead rule game. Get to the top of the 5th inning. Canada will only have 2 more shots left should the score stay at least with Team USA up by 7 runs. It'll be interesting to see if he does keep Monica in the circle.
Galindo hits it on the ground past Salin. This is going to score at least 1. Here comes the throw to the plate, not in time. Haber slides across home plate with the 11th run of the day for Team USA. 2 RBI single for Galindo.
And Galindo, with that unique hitting style, takes this outside pitch, textbook hitting, drives it back up the middle the opposite way. She lets it get deep, and Haber, you can see she runs so well. She's going to go backdoor. So important to know where the catcher is going. If the catcher has to move up, as Pumpstone did in that case, she has to move up. You know that the back part of the plate's open. You need to slide around and get that backdoor swipe in.
So Galindo, who's got a bit of a leg injury, is not going to stay in the game at first base. Instead, it's Brittany Rogers, former Alabama Crimson Tide All-American, on at first base to run. Rogers, one of the quickest Americans on at first base. And Janae Liles drives this one. Liles has left the yard for the third time in as many days. How hot is Janae Liles?
Wow. And all 3-run home runs.
It is now a 14-0 lead for Team USA.
Team USA, just so many tools. And Liles, look at this. She knows she's going to go get this outside pitch and drive it again over center, left center. But this is what I don't understand. Every one of Liles's hits has been on the outside corner. I don't think people are scouting this team. They continue to throw her on the outside corner of the plate, and she has tattooed every outside pitch that she's seen.
Andrea Duran, a 3-run home run of her own back in the first inning. She grabs the bat. Ran the 12th batter to bat here in this third inning. This has all been done with 2 outs against Melissa Litzter. Litzter retired Finch and Liles to begin the inning. Then 3 consecutive walks, followed by the Natasha Watley grand slam. 2 consecutive hits by Lowe and Haber. And then Caitlin Cochran getting on with a walk, or with an error. Galindo, a 2 RBI single, and then another 3-run home run for Liles. All of this has been done with 2 outs. And another walk, the 4th walk of the inning, allows Duran to go to first base. And here comes the director of national teams, Harvey Stevenson, to talk things over with his pitcher. He may have to go to the bullpen. There's Harvey Stevenson. He is the acting head coach, at least talking for the head coach, because Mark Smith, who is ordinarily the women's head coach, is not with the team this week here in Oklahoma City. Mark Swift has dual jobs. He's head coach of both the women's team and also the men's national team up in Canada. And the men's team currently at the ISF Men's World Championships, so he is not here with the women.
And Team Canada in jeopardy of the run-ahead rule, which for the International Softball Federation, those rules state that it is 7 runs after 5 innings, but the one that Canada right now needs to be careful of is the second one there. 15 runs after 4 innings. They are down by 14 right now. It's 20 after 4. But Team Canada needs to be very careful.
Yeah, Team USA, if they get another run here in this bottom of the 3rd inning, all they'll need is 3 more outs to get, and the game will come to a close.
Lauren Lappin being aggressive on that first pitch. I'd like to see her really try to dig deep and get in that bat here. She's struggled a little bit up at the Canada Cup so far here. At the World Cup, she's a very good hitter, trying to get that momentum. We've seen her from the right side of the plate. She's now on the left side. Again, just missing the ball. I think her head is off the pitch just a little bit. I think she really needs to work on keeping that head down and making contact through the middle of the ball. She has a tendency just at the end of her swing to lift her head just a little bit.
Smash to the first baseman, Lawrick, who fields it in self-defense. Side retired. But major damage done. Natasha Watley, a grand slam home run. Janae Liles, a 3-run home run. Team USA, they scored 9 times in the 3rd inning. They lead Canada 14, top of Canada by a score of 14-0. In case you're just joining us, let's take a look at our Six Flags game summary. Janae Liles, Andrea Durand, Natasha Watley having a grand old time. Andrea Durand, a 3-run home run in the first inning, and then in the third inning, the bat's really coming alive. Natasha Watley, a grand slam, and Janae Liles, another home run, her third of this tournament, a 3-run shot. In total, 9 runs scored for Team USA in that third frame, and it is now a 14-point lead. They get a 14-run lead.
Yeah, Team USA just, we talked about their speed. Today they're using the long ball once again, which has kind of been the MO of the last couple years with Bustos and Mendoza, Kelly Kretschmann. Just a lot of power on the 07, 08 Olympic team. This 09 team is really stepping up.
New right fielder for Team USA, Brittany Rogers, comes on defensively. She replaces Caitlin Cochran, who moves to the infield. Cochran, who started game number 1 at first base, is back in the infield right now.
Katie, also an athlete with a lot of power. Hits the ball well for average and power. A lot of speed as well. She's one of those kids that'll drop a bunt down as well. If you play her too far deep behind the bases, she'll put the sneaky bunt down.
Monica Abbott cruising along so far through 3 innings. She's retired the last 4 she's faced. She has 5 strikeouts through 3 innings. Working against the middle part of the lineup. Jen Salling, Jennifer Yee, and Sheena Lawrence. Abbott popping the mitt, 67 miles per hour with that pitch. Salling began her college career playing at Oregon, transferred to play at Washington, where she won a national championship a month ago on this field.
One ball, destroy.
Talking to Danielle Laurie, also played with Salling at Washington. I was talking to her a couple of days ago. I said, why did Salling transfer to Washington from Oregon? She said she wanted to play with me and she wanted to win. You can say that when you win a national championship.
Yes, you can. And a curveball on the outside corner, and Salling just gives up on it. You can see the way that pitch is going to come on the outside corner, move off the plate. Abbott's been using that pitch very effectively today.
Jennifer Yee, the DP, also a collegian, playing in the ACC at Georgia Tech, skies this one deep to center field. Play is made by Caitlin Lowe right at the base of the center field wall. So nothing but a long out for Yee.
Well, Jennifer Yee has just been on fire. She had a great college season at Georgia Tech, and she has been lights out here at the World Cup of Softball, hitting very well. As you mentioned, Eric, she had that base hit in the second inning against Abbott, and that pitch very close to going out. In fact, the flags are not flying at all. It's a very still day here in Oklahoma City. The wind would have been blowing out at all. That ball would have been out of the park. Let's see, not a lot of air movement here today. Jennifer Yee got all of that. Monica Abbott offering.
2 outs, bases clear. Pinch hitter Kelsey Haverhill is the batter, 20-year-old. Haverhill from Burnaby, British Columbia. Plays college softball north of the border at Simon Fraser University. That's the power up in Canada. A bunch of players on the Canadian national team have played at Simon Fraser. 2 balls and a strike. Everyone on Team USA does something special. Monica Abbott, where does she get that immense speed on her pitches from? What's the thing that she does really well?
Well, it helps that she's 6'3", so that's part of it is genetics, and it also helps that she's left-handed. But she has very good leg drive. She drives off the rubber, and again, like we mentioned, I think she pitches better when she's actually stays on that rubber. She gets a lot more movement, but it's overall velocity. You have to explode off the pitching rubber and transfer that energy to the ball.
Abbott uses that leg drive to strike out her 7th batter. She got 7 strikeouts through 4 innings. Another 1-2-3 inning. We move to the home half of the 4th. 14-0 Team USA.